is Jaime Gallegos, and I'm the Director of Operations for Boys and Girls Club. It is my job to thank you and welcome you to the Uptown Theater for tonight's event. This is one of the most anticipated nights of the year for our org. It's a unique opportunity for us to celebrate our incredible youth and a chance for you to see firsthand the impact that the club makes in our local community. All right, now we're going to focus on the teens. The teens are going to be introduced one at a time. They're going to be coming out of the back of the theater and join us right over here. One at a time, we have from American Canyon, Mikayla Grogan. Good job, Mikayla. We're very proud of you. From Napa, William Perez. Good job, William. From American Canyon, Melody Kondor. All right. From Napa, Liazah Coronado. From American Canyon, Audrey Aliga. From Napa, Mundo Gonzalez. And last, from American Canyon, Madilynn Davis. So those are our superstars. Those are the people we're here to celebrate tonight. Before we begin, before we hear from all of our teams, we're going to have a keynote speaker tonight.
How's everybody feeling? All right. It's an honor to be here tonight. Thank you so much for the invitation to share a few words tonight. This is very close to my heart. I was a boys club kid myself. Back then, it was only a boys club, and now it's Boys and Girls Club, thankfully, right? But I wanted to come here and just start off by giving my thanks and appreciation for coming together as a community. Tonight, all of you here, we're putting our collective arms around our young people that are here tonight, and that deserves a round of applause. This quote always stuck with me, and I'm not even sure who said it, but there's this saying that it's better to build boys than it is to build men. I think it might have been Horace Mann, I'm not sure who said it. But today in the state of California, we spend over $132,000 a year taking care of prisoners. And that's almost twice the cost of how much it costs to attend our private schools, our best or most expensive private school in the state. So imagine if we had that kind of money for each of our youth here in the state of California, what a difference that would make. But I'm here tonight because we are recognizing our youth for their personal achievements as a vehicle for inspiration, encouragement, and success. Success that these youth model and share with their peers and their community. Being selected and competing as a Youth of the Year is an exciting and inspiring journey. I know because I was there where you are, where you're sitting. And I know how much work you all have put to get to this place tonight. Like some of you that are finalists tonight, I too was a Keystone Club member. I went to Camp Mendocino and participated in many of the activities that you all have participating in. The club was a very special place because at the clubhouse, we were shielded from bullying and incivility and chaos that sometimes disrupted our lives. I can say that going through the Youth of the Year experience molds you and gives you a platform to let your light shine. And no matter what happens this evening, know that you carry the light with you and that you'll continue to reach your goals. With your continue to work hard with your determination and with a mentor or two along the way. You are indeed leaders in your community. I was just telling Dr. Massetti how when I was preparing for the remarks, how nervous I was to get up and speak in front of a big audience. I had never done that before. And that was some 30 years ago. And I still get a little nervous sometimes when I'm up here speaking, especially when there's bright lights in your face and you can't really see the audience. But let me thank you, Mikayla, William, Melody, Liazah, Audrey, and Mundo, and Madilynn, for stepping up and stepping out and being leaders not only in your clubs, but also in your communities. You're all beacons of light shining bright for Napa County and indeed for the entire state. Let's give them a round of applause. I was asked to talk a little bit about my experience as a club kid, so I have to say that I have some of the best memories growing up and spending pretty much every waking hour I could at Columbia Park in San Francisco's Mission District. Not only did the club help shape me and many of my most formative experiences, but the club helped me lay my foundation for a life that was always intertwined in public service at the forefront. It provided a sense of belonging, and for some of us, it even saved our lives. In fact, I remember as a Keystone Club member, every evening we would sell hot dogs for 50 cents, and we would use the profit to help fund our activities to go to exotic places like Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, for our National Keystone Conference. That was the first time many of us were on a plane or even left our hometown. We got to meet other kids from places like Texas and Boston that spoke just a little bit differently, but they were just kids like us. We had more in common than not. By the way, our hot dog sales, for some weird reason, we only use mustard as a condiment, and I think that helped keep the margin profit up. So there was always a lesson to be learned at the club, that's for sure. The club, and the Keystone Club in particular, gave us the opportunity to broaden our vision for what is possible for our future selves. Of course, we didn't understand that or know that at the time. It just felt like we were having fun with our friends. The neighborhood that I grew up in, the Mission, was infested at the time with gang wars. Many of my cousins and friends got caught up in them. The lucky ones maybe went to juvenile hall. The unlucky ones didn't make it. Back in the 80s and 90s, we were latchkey kids. My parents worked sometimes 2 jobs to make ends meet. My father's formal education ended at 4th grade, and my mother not so much more than 8th grade. They worked hard to provide for us, but they did the best they could with limited English, but immense hope for me and my 2 brothers. Columbia Park Boys and Girls Club became an extension of my family. My parents knew that we were safe, and the club was a trusted place for us to go to. It was familia, it was family, it was a place for all of us. The schools back then didn't have a lot of after-school programs like they do now. That's why the club was so important. I'm thankful for the leadership of the state legislature and for the governor and state superintendent Tony Thurmond for putting forward $4.6 billion for expanded learning opportunities program and $4 billion for expanded day full instruction and enrichment for elementary students. While it's important that this funding will continue to support our youngest learners, we know that our teenagers also need to have this level of support. In fact, reflecting on my experience after school, I wouldn't go home, not only because my parents weren't there, I'd go to the club to get help with my homework, with math and pre-calculus, certainly subjects my parents could not help me with. After homework was done, I loved going to the art room or paint or the craft shop to tinker. And we'd even played dodgeball. I think we called it war ball back then because if you didn't pay attention, you probably got your head knocked off by an incoming ball. At the club, we learned how to compete and sometimes very ferociously on the court, but we also learned how to cooperate and work together. At the end of the day, we were all friends, and that spilled out into the neighborhood in a positive way. The bottom line is that the club kept me and my friends out of trouble, safe from the streets that took so many of our friends, a place to go to be safe. The card we had to show with our membership number, I think the most we paid for membership back then was $5. I'm not sure what the cost is now, but it was always accessible, and that card gave you a sense of belonging. You belonged to the club. You were part of a community. You were part of a family. And so with that organization, the club provided the things that my family could not provide, such as tutoring, additional support, the possibility of seeing myself outside of my neighborhood, getting my first job, and even the possibility of going to college. You see, I had heard about college, and even though I lived in San Francisco, I heard about places like Berkeley, but I thought that was an East Coast school. It was really far away. I had no idea that it was just across the bay. But that's how far I was from that experience. It wasn't very tangible for me until my mentor, Jim Richards, who was our executive director, said, hey, you know what? Keep on working hard. You can do it. He even went out of his way to help tutor me in calculus and math. He says, look, I know you don't have a 4.0 GPA, but just keep working hard. Keep working hard. Try to do the best that you can. You have leadership potential. I really didn't know what that meant, but sure enough, I trusted Jim. I trusted the people around me at the club, and I applied. I ended up getting a $25,000 scholarship to UC Berkeley. And that's what we're doing here tonight. We're putting our collective arms around our young people to celebrate them and to continue to support them, to let them know that we're here tonight for them. Your journey doesn't end here. Once you're a club kid, you're always going to be a club kid. Remember that. The club, after graduating, I think one of my proudest moments after I got through Berkeley and through calculus, and it was a struggle to get through calculus at Berkeley, I was able to have my mentors, Jim and James, our clubhouse director and our executive director, witness my graduation on stage, and that was one of my proudest moments alongside with my family. Earning my master's degree, I wanted to give back to my community, so I ran for public office as a community college trustee, and because I wanted to make sure other kids had the same opportunity that I had. And today, I'm grateful for the opportunity to see California's $100 billion budget for TK through 12 education. And I know that when Boys and Girls Clubs work closely with schools, work with community, there's nothing that can't be accomplished. So with that, I was told to keep it brief. So I wanted to let you all know to continue to invest in the Boys and Girls Club of Napa Valley, because they can make penny squeal and they will put it to good use. They continue to invest in our young people and make sure that they all reach their full potential. It's an honor to be here tonight, and I have a question for our young folks that are here today. Let me ask you, our Youth of the Year, will you continue to share your story and make sure you give back to your clubhouse and your communities? Yes? And then the adults in the room, will you continue to support these young people even past this evening and make sure you continue to support them on their journeys? All right, that's what I like to hear. Congratulations, and thank you so much for having me this evening.
Thank you very much, Abel. I really appreciate it. I think that was very moving. He's talking about that he reached his full potential, and I couldn't help just kind of stare at them a little bit and look at them, and hopefully this is where you were years ago. So the sky's the limit for you all as well. What I want to do next is I want to hand it off to the experts. So when I mean by experts, I'm going to hand it off to two staff members who worked directly with the teens. First up is Josh. He's our Teen Services Coordinator from Napa. And then joining him.
My name is Joshua Sturgison. I'm the Teen Services Director of the Boys and Girls Club. I have had the honor of being in this position for over 9 years now. I'm a club alumni, I'm a club kid. So to be here tonight and to run this program for the last 9 years is a blessing in itself. Becoming a Youth of the Year is the highest honor that can be bestowed upon a Boys and Girls Club member. The Youth of the Year program celebrates the values of the Boys and Girls Club's work to instill in the club members every single day. Values like respect, responsibility, empathy, and integrity. What you will witness here tonight is the result of an ongoing commitment to do better and more for teens. In 2022, we have honored that commitment by opening new teen programs at Unidos, Redwood, and American Canyon Middle Schools. And in 2023, along with the lasting and long impact of the Teen Center at Club 1515, we continue to grow to new heights like we have never seen before. And with our partnership with NUSD, there has been never a better time to be a club kid than there is today. This last year, we sent teens across the state to visit colleges and trade schools. With the support of the Kaiser Foundation, Bank of America, and Redwood Credit Union, we're exposing teens every month to new workforce development opportunities. Our teen leaders traveled across America to Texas to attend Keystone Conference, where they came home awarded the #1 workforce development program in the nation. And finally, because of the record-setting auction, the Gala, we've been able to hire more dedicated teen staff who continue to shape our programs to be engaging, inspiring, and cool places for everyone who walks through the doors every single day. This brings us here to tonight. I've been in the club a long time, like I said, and bringing these finalists here to this moment at the Uptown Theater is a dream come for them, but also a dream come true for me too, standing in this moment. Before we move on and we get into the night, I want to recognize another part of what makes our club what it is today, and that's all of our alumni. I look out at the crowd right now, and I want to honor all of our alumni and all of our past Youth of the Years. I know there's about 10 to 15 past Youth of the Years who've donned this stage at one point and gone through all the processes and now are living amazing lives that we get to watch after. And I just want to say thank you, because these kids that are about to take these stage and they're right here, they were watching you guys forever. They saw all the steps that you took, and they're continuing to watch you. And if it wasn't for young people like you who are continuing to succeed and giving it their all, we wouldn't have a program like as big as this today. So thank you to all of our alumni. Can we give a hand to all of them tonight? And for our candidates tonight, we will have 7 candidates that you'll hear from, 3 from Napa and 4 from American Canyon. And to be a Youth of the Year, let me tell you this, it is not easy. This is one of the bravest things you can do, is to tell your story, and each of them get a chance to do that tonight. At some point in their club journey, which I believe to be a Youth of the Year starts from this first day you walk into the club, they demonstrate a spark. They stood out as leaders, artists, and athletes. They demonstrate good character and the desire to help those around them. Tonight, standing next to me, we will have a longtime staff and a kid favorite, and now the American Canyon Clubhouse Director, Leilani, who will be announcing them tonight, as well as some special guests. Our past Youth of the Years will be announcing their younger siblings who are now Youth of the Years to come up and give their speeches tonight. My last thing before I go, so we can get the show started. I know we look fancy tonight. All of you guys have come here looking great, but we are still the club, so make sure we cheer loud and we have fun, because these kids deserve it. And to you candidates, my one last thing to you, please do not let tonight be the end of your story. Tonight is the beginning. There are people outside of these walls that need to hear what you have to say. So I know we've asked a lot of you, but that's the last thing I'm gonna ask of you tonight, is to continue sharing your story, because you're gonna change the world when you do that. Thank you.
My name is Mikayla Grogan, and this is my speech, Speak Up. Can you hear me? An 8-year-old girl trying to find where she belongs in her school, with her peers, and within herself. Can you hear me? A 12-year-old girl crying out for help at the worst time of her life, feeling every ounce of emotion there is all at once, yet feeling nothing at all, only finding happiness in the cracks of her foundation. Can you hear me? A 16-year-old young lady standing before you, knowing where her voice falls on deaf ears and where she is heard and supported by those around her. Can you hear me? Mikayla Grogan, a junior at American Canyon High School, an older sister, a daughter, a friend, classmate, a dancer, a youth entrepreneur, a future architect, a teenager, and a club kid. When I was young, I always strived to be perfect, and I let every single comment get to me. I gained insecurities as I grew older, all the way into middle school. I lost so much of myself trying to be perfect, and I ended up losing relationships and family members. I felt so small during those years. I was quiet, I hid everything, bottled everything up until it overflowed, and I wanted to block out the entire world. My only form of peace is the Boys and Girls Club, my Boys and Girls Club. My foundation, my roots, my sanctuary. The place I always returned to whenever I didn't feel like my house was my home. Those big double doors and being greeted by my favorite staff will always be my favorite part of the day. The Boys and Girls Club never expected me to be perfect. They just wanted me to be me. The activities I did at the club, like potlucks, performances, outdoor games like kickball, cooking, building art, even volunteering with the kindergartners, all contribute to the person I am today. Even my friends found themselves here. Like my friend May, the clubhouse was her home when the one that she lived in didn't feel like it was her own. Or my friend Anna, when she wasn't feeling comfortable in her own relationships, the staff were there to support her and make her feel loved while she was here. Even my friend Alex, when he was being bullied at school, the Boys and Girls Club supported him, and the little activities that we did, even something as simple as building Legos, helped him gain his smile back. The Boys and Girls Club is loved and appreciated by all, alumni and students alike. And I believe I can speak for all of us when I say this is our home. Even though I am a club kid, I'm a kid first, a teenager of America. I cut the top of my shirts because I don't like the way crew necks sit on my neck. I wear ripped jeans for style. I put Crocs on even though it's cold outside. I go on my phone when I'm bored, listen to music and block out the rest of the world. I speak in silly slang and sarcasm. I have crushes, hobbies, I make mistakes, I get overwhelmed. I have emotions. We have emotions. I am young, but I have a voice. And I want to use my voice to help others in finding theirs. I am speaking up because I have to. The youth of America has to. We are the upcoming generations of leaders, career builders, engineers, teachers. And we see things, but most times we don't say things. And right now, I, myself, and the other Youth of the Year candidates are saying things. So can you hear us? I am present, I'm in the moment, I am done hiding. I wear a mask to cover my face, hiding my hair, hiding underneath my hair. I am done staying inside the bubble I have created. And thanks to the Boys and Girls Club, I have gotten out of it. And that is why I'm here in front of you today. This is a huge step for me. But thanks to my Boys and Girls Club family, encouraging me and supporting me, and always trying to get me to be more open, I am ready. And to any club kid like me, don't lose yourself trying to be perfect. Be who you are, have fun, live in the moment, and just know that you are brave and you are loved. Let me reintroduce myself. My name is Mikayla Hamilton Grogan. I am vulnerable, brave, and present. I am a club teen who loves her family, friends, classmates, teachers, and for the first time in a while, herself. Thank you, Boys and Girls Club.
I was, I am, and I will. And tonight, as I take this stage, this is for all the people like me who the world forgot about. For those who were just walked by, just and dismissed. Those who were too afraid to speak up and to step out. And for those struggling with mental health. You see me up here today, and I know it's hard to believe. Perez, the Youth of the Year. But I've learned over these last 5 years, you can't judge someone for where they're standing, because you don't know how far or how hard it was for them to get here. You didn't see me struggle with depression for 9 years, making it hard to just get up in the morning. You didn't see me locked in my room for 2 years, suffering in complete isolation. You didn't see me contemplate dropping out and losing my motivation to live. And you definitely didn't see my talent and the smile that was hidden past all the pain inside of me. But I am still here today because of the few moments I did. For me, it was in the 5th grade when I heard music for the first time. The sound resonated with my emotions, transcended anything I could communicate. It was within the harmonies and rhythms that I felt a sense of validation and connection, as if the music was best friends with my thoughts and feelings. In the melodies and lyrics, I discovered an escape that voiced understanding and acceptance. In my personal haven, emerged through the life-changing power of music. My time at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Napa Valley can be described in the same way like music. The supportive community at the club became my source of comfort and empowerment, shaping a space where I could truly be myself and for the first time feel truly seen and heard. Through the life-changing power of the club. The club, they saw me and showed me, like mental health itself, I am a lot more than what you see. Growing up, my biggest inspiration of hope was watching my sister Evelyn and her friends, who I was surrounded by at the club. And they didn't know it at the time, but all they accomplished pointed me in the direction for my journey, even during the hard times. And when I finally broke past my isolation and decided to take that walk back to the club last year, their mentor, and now mine, Josh, became my hero and helped save my life. He and my staff, Julie and Jafet, accepted me back like I had never left, and have motivated me ever since. And when I'm struggling, need help and have questions, I can rely on my peers at the club. To listen, to say the right thing, and ask the right questions at the right time. By meeting me where I was, the club taught me how to communicate, gave me the motivation to create and put out my ideas, helped me improve my mental health, and opened me up to where I am today. By participating in programs like volunteering with Keystone, Teen Night Out event, the annual Lock-In Challenge, and recently, the opportunity to work with a professional artist, creating a painting that will generate funding for programs for the next generation. I see my journey coming full circle. On top of that, the club has provided me with space after school to create freely, and most importantly, people. People who empower my friends and I to shape the future of our community. Together, this has created my vision of an education system where we don't have to wait till after school to be creative. Through music and art education being incorporated into the daily learning process, we will be able to take a big step forward in overcoming the battle we face today with mental health. Mental health is what matters to me. Music and art are my passions and my therapy. And I have experienced what it's like to lack space or creative outlets to express them. And as the Youth of the Year, I want to be a voice and visionary for change to help those who are struggling. I may never be the loudest person in the room, but I am through my music and my art. And with the help of the club this year, I have returned to school. I'm a 4.0 student, have started my own band, I'm creating my own unique art style, and I will be releasing my first music album. And next fall, I'll be attending college to study music theory, to pursue my dream of becoming a professional musician. My inspiration of hope now is in making music and art that will relate, shape the future of my community, and will inspire everyone to keep moving forward. I was isolated, silenced, and depressed, but now I'm connected, engaged, and motivated. And I will create opportunities of understanding for the next generation. The journey to success is long, but please don't give up. Keep moving forward because the best is ahead. Thank you.
lost, afraid, alone. In the summer of 2016, 8 years ago, that's all I felt. Being torn from my home and my siblings, sent to live across the country. At the time, this is all I saw it as, just another despair in my life that would leave me broken. I couldn't imagine such uncertainty surrounding my future would transform into raw hope and optimism, would turn me into the very teen that stands before you today because of our very own American Canyon Clubhouse. My name is Melody Kondor, and as a Boys and Girls Club of Napa Valley Youth of the Year candidate for 2024, I implore you to hear my words tonight and feel the impact of the Boys and Girls Club as I express it to you. Now, there are 3 reasons as to why my speech is titled Everything and Everywhere. Number 1, nothing is impossible when you're a part of the Boys and Girls Club community. Nothing is out of reach or unachievable, as you can try everything, such as sports and dance. We were provided resources to try new things like cooking and art. We were given a place to socialize and help us focus on our homework with the help of students and staff. A chance to participate in one of my favorite events, the Winter Showcase, where all of our families came together to create a potluck and watch their children produce a spectacular show. It's a place to relax, to be yourself, and to laugh. Thanks to Caleb, who started to call me Meldoy every day, simply because my teacher spelled my name wrong once on my name tag. Or thanks to the libraries in the teen room, the bookshelves that were filled with new stories for me to read every week. Thanks to the friends I made, who continue to be the most loyal people I've ever met. But there are also innumerable opportunities, such as the chance to become a future leader through the demonstration of equality and resourcefulness. The opportunity to participate in programs such as Smart Girls and Passport to Manhood to become more educated on women's and men's health. Even the possibility of being chosen as a Youth of the Year candidate to stand before the world and proclaim your truths, to speak as a leader. There's reason number 2 as to why my speech is titled Everything and Everywhere. To be welcomed into the club is to change everything you are, to grow into the best version of yourself. You see, I've always been the kind of person who wants to do as much as I can, make it as far as I can. Boys and Girls Club has given me that opportunity and so much more. I know a lot of students can go home after a school day and feel lonely. They go home to empty houses and can go hours before the rest of their families come home. They neglect their homework or go on their phone, go to sleep, and they'll wake up to repeating days. I feared being the kind of person who ended up stagnant. Instead of spending my day doing something new and making the most of my time, I feared I would waste it. Boys and Girls Club has always had this way of washing away my fears. Because at the Boys and Girls Club, not only do I feel like I'm making the most of my life, I'm making the most of every day with new opportunities and learning experiences. And reason number 3 as to why my speech is titled Everything and Everywhere. You will find the memories of Boys and Girls Club intertwined everywhere you go. In everything I do, I find myself back at the clubhouse. The very one right next to the middle and elementary schools that I attended for years. Next to the pool I swam in every summer. It's the center of our community and the center of my heart. Applying every lesson I've learned day to day, such as how to remain faithfully optimistic and safe, as Boys and Girls Club has turned our COVID experience around, reminding us that we're still all one community and there's always something positive to find from a negative experience. With every opportunity I received, I'm reminded of who gave me those opportunities first. So, to summarize, you can try everything at the Boys and Girls Club that you want to. This experience itself changes everything you are as you grow into the best version of yourself. And everywhere you go, the lessons you learn at the club are applicable, useful, everything and everywhere. For the Boys and Girls Club is not a fleeting experience, nor a passing thought. It's the place where in every room you go, you'll find nothing short of dedication and kindness, of laughter, of learning. I would know. Thanks to that day I was enrolled at the Boys and Girls Club all those years ago. Thanks to the friends and staff who encouraged me to share with you now. that it truly is everything and everywhere. So as I stand before all of you tonight, I make a promise to advocate for everything the club stands for, and to enlighten you as to know that I could not speak a greater truth than when I say this: great futures start here. Thank you.
As I fell deeper and deeper into the dark, cold and oppressive spaces of my mind, I often felt alone. Even surrounded in my own home, I was isolated, boxed in with no people to breathe. Slowly, the box getting smaller and smaller. I was trapped, losing all knowledge of how to think for myself, to speak up when needed to. I had lost my voice, my personality, and my happiness. I had become a character of myself, sleeping my life away. Even when awake, I could no longer see my dreams. I had contemplated everything to escape it, but living. If you came here today to hear a fairy tale, you came to the right place. But let me caution you, my story is not your typical fairy tale. There is no knight in shining armor, no fairy godmother. I wasn't racing against the clock to make it to the ball. And my story is not the prettiest of them all. For many from my community, my generation, and my culture, this is reality. And I've seen enough to know it doesn't always end up like mine. So what makes my story different? Well, I guess you can say Cinderella didn't have the club. My story is different because the club acted as the spark I needed to become the hero of my own story. My name is Liazah Coronado, and I'm the middle child of 6. As a middle child, it can be hard to find your own way and hard to find your own voice. But let me tell you, it's really easy to find extra responsibility. When you're in the middle, it's always your turn to stay home and carry the burdens. But when you are surrounded by the people who work as hard as the people in my home do to help your family, it is not a choice. It's a need for survival. It's a constant balancing act at 16. What will I sacrifice today? My interest, school, home, friends, or my mental health? 11 years ago, I would find my home away from home, at the club, and it would counter my imbalance. With everything from talks with the staff, to cooking, to art projects, and simply being surrounded by people. And 2 years ago, as COVID-19 shut down the world, causing me to fall into a depression and deep sleep, the club would go on to save my life. The club did this through giving me the ability, the inspiration, and the opportunities to continue writing my own fairy tale. And this next chapter of my life, I want to live. Every day, I would wake up to people at the club, laughing and having fun and getting things done. I would watch my older brother creating real change in the community and his friends having the ability to be themselves. I would tell myself, if they can, why can't I? If it wasn't for my mentors at the club, encouraging me with their simple questions, listening to what I had to say, and taking interest in my passions, I would have not found that answer and be here to tell you this story. They would act as my escape back to reality. Waking up to the possibilities of everything around me, Club 1515 has become a space of my own dream again. Dreams like the Great Futures road trip that expanded my mindset on my career paths. Teen night outs that helped me reconnect with people. And working with professional artists who gave me the blank page to start over. These experiences have shaped who I am today and my future. What I care most about today is people. We were all made to live in community and have meaningful connections. In the future, I plan to pursue a career in mental health services as a therapist, and I will use my career to help the community. Mental health can affect anyone, regardless of the circumstances. And even as more people are talking about this, people are still struggling to seek help. To improve mental health, it is no longer enough just to be available. We need to seek those who are struggling. Community is key to reaching those in need. As a therapist, I will be a voice and ear for those struggling. I will continue to work with my club to assure every young person has at least one person or place they can go to, where they know someone will be there to listen, encourage, and provide opportunities. As the rest of my story continues, to the page I turn, I have found myself on the other side of this miracle, a leader in school, in my community, and the club. I became Member of the Year, a Ford Driving Dreams contest winner, nominated as president for our award-winning Keystone Club, a volunteer in my community, an active member of Color Board, a college-bound student, a Youth of the Year, and now the writer of my own future. To the next generation, as your friend, I encourage you to find a community you care about, mentors who you care about, and opportunities that will wake you up to the realities of your dreams. It's time to wake up. Your story is still being written. If they could do it, so could I. And if I can do it, so can you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Audrey Aliga. I'm a freshman at American Canyon High School. 6 years ago, my family and I moved from my own home in Benicia to an entirely new community. It was really difficult for me. Being the new kid is always a challenge. I wasn't ready nor happy about this move. I had to leave pretty much everyone I grew up with in Benicia and come to a place where all the kids already knew each other since kindergarten. I felt like an outsider, but the BGC, aka the Boys and Girls Club, changed all that. The staff helped me every step of the way and created a place of belonging outside of school. I was able to build a new network of friends, and in the end, I made another home there. Not only did the BGC help me, but they also helped my parents. It gave them peace of mind to know that my younger sister and I had somewhere safe to go after school. It made the transition much less stressful since they had to commute out of town for work. We are grateful to the BGC for all their help in providing that and so much more. We appreciate the staff for all their efforts in making the club a safe haven for our entire family. Reflecting on our move and how the BGC made a positive difference pushes me to help others the same way. I strive to take every chance I can get to give back to the club. My dream is to become an architect and build new spaces where people can come to connect, feel safe, and at home. Focusing on the homeless issue in my community, I want to use my skills to help others and be an ally. As a past web leader and a current member of Key Club and UNICEF, I am already getting involved and contributing to what matters to me. When I think about Youth of the Year, I consider the qualities youth advocates possess, having both humility and good character. Their skills reflect who they are and how they are able to represent others around them. They are role models as well as listeners, and are willing to collaborate and be of service to their community. All of the finalists tonight are worthy of this position, and I'm grateful to be part of this experience. Overall, the club has brought out the best parts of me that I hadn't realized before, just by hanging out with the staff, sharing how our day went, and talking about whatever's on their mind. They've taught me important life lessons that will always stay with me. I've recognized my resilience, learned how to overcome self-doubt, and built up the courage to do hard things. I've developed leadership skills, learned how to be more open and accept change. All we need to do is take that first step embrace the unknown, and push through the fear, figuring out how to be our own leaders and always be grateful for those around us. Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling of belonging. The BGC can be a home for anyone looking to meet new people, build lasting friendships, take chances, and embrace new opportunities. Like Maya Angelou once said, I long, as does every human being, to be at home wherever I find myself. All of this I've learned throughout my time at the BGC. Not all families are blood, but rather people who understand you and love you. The home I've made at the BGC will always be a part of me. The memories I will hold dear to my heart forever. The people I will cherish, and no one and nothing can take that away. Thank you.
Every day for the last 11 years, I had a choice to make. As I made that choice, on my way, I would pass Memorial Stadium, dreaming about the day I would be scoring goals there. Between my feet and the soccer ball my dad had gifted me before he was deported. My moves inspired by the gifts he left inside of me, the determination to be great, and the motivation to do different. As the imaginary clock winds down, I'm showing off, trying to score one last time to make my dad proud. In reality, I was all alone, dribbling up and down the alleyway that was once divided our neighborhood. As I make to the end of the street, I set my feet for one final kick. I look up, and the most important decision I have ever made was right in front of me. To my right, a pathway that was far too familiar, filled with wasted talent of those before me, and unfortunately, many of my peers who fell victim for being unstable and having no opportunities. And to my left, an open door, a level playing field, a way forward, a place that gave me a home. My name is Mundo Gonzalez Lopez, and this is my home. 11 years ago, I was just another club kid. First to be a club huddle, first to eat my snack, and first to do my homework, so I could go to soccer club. And you know, I wasn't passing the ball at the moment, because I had to be the first one to score, you know. And to this day, I'm still the same club kid at heart, and I mean that. But now, I know now, having great people to guide me, having power hour, activities, and having a healthy meal every day, thanks to the Boys and Girls Club, is what set me on my path for greatness. As an athlete, I love watching my highlights, my showcase, the greatness of the mentorship and the opportunities I have received at the club. Mentors whose words and actions have shaped my character. Opportunities to lead, learn, and volunteer and have experiences. Keystone, mentoring, and the Youth Leadership Academy programs that have shaped my future. And when faced with my life's toughest challenges, losing my father, my home, and nearly the game I love most this year, met me with love and advocated me for every time. And when I wasn't sure where I was going, I always ran straight to the club gym, because there, I knew I could always just be a kid and do what I love most, play soccer. Sorry. Like the club, soccer is the force behind me reaching my goals and creating opportunities on and off the field. The club has helped me to put my visions into actions, helping me use my experiences to create change in my community. Over the last 3 years, as a part of the Teen Center, I have led a futsal program for my peers and a weekly soccer club for elementary kids upstairs. I didn't have the opportunity, so I gave them to them. Coaching the fundamentals of soccer, helping others developing teamwork to becoming a leader, has shown me it's not always about how talented you are, but it's about uniting those around you. The day I became great off the field was when I helped unite my neighborhood, building a better path on the club with our Somos Fuertes Unidos mural. Today, I am more than just an athlete. I'm a mentor, an artist, and a leader. With the hard work of my family, the generosity of my coaches and my community, and the stability of the club, I have been able to beat the odds. I'm a leader of the vintage varsity soccer team, and now I'm on my way to living on my dream as a Division I college athlete. Thank you. As a Youth of the Year, I want to advocate for equal equality in youth sports, to elevate the wasted talent, the lack of opportunities, and high cost to play youth sports creates. I plan to use my passion and experiences to become an inspirational leader, coach, and voice for the next generations. I will challenge them like the club has challenged me. To be truly great, you can't be afraid to stand out. You have to put yourself in the right environments, and you have to take the opportunities that will push you past your comfort zone. If you want to be great, you have to dare to be different. It was my coach, it was my dad who left my passion, my coaches who gave me my love for the game, my family who worked so hard to support me, and my siblings who opened doors wide before me. My club family and mentors who provided with love and stability, and all of you here tonight, and the Boys and Girls Clubs who saw through me. What can happen if you give a young kid a choice of opportunity? Tonight, I leave you with the challenge and choice as the clock is winding down. We are the future. So let's do whatever it takes to make sure our potential is championed. Because with a level playing field and elevated youth like those besides me here tonight, we can all have a great future. Thank you.
When you participate in a Boys and Girls Club program, you really are provided with a world-class experience that assures success is within the reach of every young person who enters their doors, just like their vision statement says. The staff came alongside me to make sure I was doing well in school, and not only help myself, but everyone in the program to create a plan for the future. They showed me how to dream about a better future for everyone, and how to make that dream a reality. Every day, you're greeted by a smile from the staff. It was a happy and safe place after a long day at school. This was highlighted when the Boys and Girls Club became my actual classroom during distance learning, a safe haven for everyone involved in such a difficult time. However, it wasn't just a warm, happy place. I was pushed to become better and work harder in the best way, challenged to find my voice and develop skills that I would need in the real world. This has had a huge impact on who I am today and who I'm becoming. The staff at the Boys and Girls Club has always made me feel supported, and their openness gave me the space to grow and mature. Being the oldest of 4 siblings, I've always been there to help my parents when they needed it, and even sometimes when they probably didn't. And over time, this has really helped me realize that I enjoy helping people, that I care. So I began to consciously implement these things into my day. Small things like volunteering for the nursery at my church, or being there for a friend in need, even starting to volunteer at the Kaiser Permanente help desk so others could feel more welcome, just like I do when I go to the Boys and Girls Club. At Boys and Girls Club, it's things like giving a compliment to a kid who feels down, or sitting down to make an art project with them. This has led to my desire to help others and make an impact not only on my future, but others as well. In the future, I'm going to pursue a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. I specifically am going to be a labor and delivery nurse and become part of a momentous life change for the families that I get to serve. As a nurse, I can help care for others in times of need, make positive connections, help educate, and overall make a difference in their lives. As an upperclassman and a planner, I'm thinking about college more than ever and what reaching this goal would look like. Choosing a path for after graduation can be a complicated process with too many and too few resources at the same time. A 4-year community college, trade school, and more, it's overwhelming, especially without the right support. I'm so thankful that the Boys and Girls Club has been there to support me and help me with my goals. They taught me how to create reachable goals, and it was even one of the staff here who pointed me towards volunteering at Kaiser. They gave guidance, not only with my more professional goals, but with also how I held myself. It was here that I found my voice to share my opinions, ask for change, and create a better future for myself and others. It was here that I realized that I wanted to be a leader and not just a follower. Given the opportunity to become Youth of the Year, I would use this voice that I found to help fellow youth with support towards their goals for the future. I'm so thankful that I've had my family and the Boys and Girls Club to help with the intricate process that is college, but not everyone has that. I want to work towards making sure that everyone has resources available to them that are easy to access. I desire to be part of a change, and I want to support other youth as they grow as well. So, for my peers, those listening, and the students coming in behind me, I urge you, lean in. Be the support for Boys and Girls Club that the Boys and Girls Club has been for me. Understand that the Boys and Girls Club of America is a place where who you are, where you're from, or the circumstances that surround you don't determine your access to experiences or opportunities. Let us be that example. Let us create a better future. I cannot thank you enough for investing in myself and the other nominees, my siblings, and my fellow students across the country. Thank you.
We're gonna do a quick Ask Me Anything session with our teen youth today. So I'm gonna call them up one by one. I've got a couple questions, but I'm happy to take questions from the audience to pose right to our teens tonight. And so with that said, Miss Mikayla, would you mind joining me up on the stage, please? So Mikayla, the question was, could you tell us a little bit more about what you do as an entrepreneur? You spoke about that in your speech.
Yes, I started my business in February of 2022 with the Kids Commerce program at American Canyon. They've helped me start and grow my business with outreach events like the Meet Me in the Street during the summer, where I sell Oreo truffles, all of different flavors and different customizations.
What instrument do you play? Why that instrument? And do you write music as well?
I play guitar and bass, specifically a 5-string bass, acoustic, keyboard, and at some point I want to learn how to do violin, upright bass, and maybe a harp. And
all right, let's take a question from the audience for Melody. Anyone? Yep, right here. What kind of degree do you want to pursue after you graduate?
Guys, that was my stepbrother. Okay, so I want to become an endocrinologist in the future. So for people who don't know, my dad is a diabetic, and I love you too. So that's kind of growing up and seeing what he's experienced and gone through in his life. I mean, that's completely changed my perspective so much, because you see the struggles they go through, and especially with expenses these days. I mean, just seeing how much you have to pay for his insulin and the medicine that he has to use, it's incredible to me, honestly. And so I'm very sympathetic of that situation. So it's something I want to pursue in the future, because I feel like I could be so sympathetic with the patients and I'll understand what they're going through. And it's something I'm really passionate about, because I love my dad so much. Like, if I can help other people that are going through the same situation, I will. And that's what I aim for. So I definitely want to pursue the medical field, especially endocrinologists, because they work with diseases. And you know, my family always said that one day maybe I could find a cure, and maybe that's not too far out of reach. You know, because I relate to that, and I love it.
The question was, how did the Boys and Girls Club help me choose what I wanted to major in and what I wanted to do in my future? The Boys and Girls Club has helped me open my eyes and realize that I love helping other people, and I love being able to be there for them and be the person that they're comfortable with. And throughout those years, I've been able to introduce multiple of my friends to the Boys and Girls Club and watch them become the person that they're comfortable with in their own skin, and that are able to talk with people they may have never met or make new friends that they just met that day. It's helped me realize that I really love talking with people and I really enjoy helping people, even if I didn't know them before and even if they were a stranger to me. I'd say
Well
that's
done.
my answer.
What was the moment that you knew this was what you wanted to do to be up here for Youth of the Year?
I guess just listening to everyone on the stage and like everyone who came before, I want to be someone who can also share my story in hopes that it can inspire other people to go through what I've gone through, or just like build up that confidence and just how I feel right now, just confidence building up, just try to build that as well. That's something I wanted to do, and I really think the Youth of the Year has really helped make a difference and made an impact on me, like also building up my courage to do hard things. So yeah, it's like something I wanted to do, and this is how I'm sharing it to the world. I want to help others.
The courage to do hard things. Well done. Thank you very much. Audrey. All right, Mundo. Changing this, Mundo. You ready?
I'm ready.
If you could go back to Mundo on the first day that he walked in the club, what would you say to him?
I'd tell him to move stations from McPherson to the clubhouse instead of going there every other summer. I really liked the clubhouse way better than the station I was at McPherson, but it was really nice. Like, it would still be the same, but the club is just, it was a safer environment.
So the question is, there are many things wrong with the world today. Can you name at least one thing that you would like to change?
So like I mentioned, I really want to go into the medical field, and I, like Melody even touched on, like medical expenses are astronomical. It's crazy. Both of us are definitely in agreement with that. And so I think that whenever I go into the medical field, like I really want to, and hopefully in a leadership position, I really want to work towards making sure that things are more affordable, and that, you know, we really work towards making those more appropriate for, you know, emergency things and whatnot. I think that that's a really important thing. I mean, everyone, you know, we all want to be healthy and we all want to make sure that we have the best care possible. And I don't think that just because you can't afford it doesn't mean that you shouldn't get what you need. And so I think that's definitely something that I want to work towards.
Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, Madilynn Davis. Great work, Madilynn. Okay, with that, I'm gonna call Jaime back up. Jaime, or you want me to just launch right into it? Okay. Well, it's my responsibility to give closing remarks this evening. Again, my name is Greg Bouillerce, and I'm the Executive Director of the Boys and Girls Club of Napa Valley. Thank you, Blake, my mom, for the evening. This is my favorite event. I look forward to this every year, and I do because I think, you know, there's a phrase that we see come up every single time. It's, I found my home. I found my second home. This is my family. These are the people who saw me. That question drives everything that we do at the club. And I think when we consider the nature of that question as staff or former club kids or Youth of the Years, we get it. We've been there, we've lived it, we've seen it. And for those of you who are here in the audience, I recognize that that's a different perspective. You don't get to see the magic that happens within those walls. And so I think the question has to be asked, what is a Boys and Girls Club? And to do that, I'm gonna need a little bit of audience participation. Don't worry, there are no icebreakers here. No one's doing a trust fall. But what I am gonna ask you to do is to stop. I want you to stop thinking about how you're gonna get home tonight. I want you to stop thinking about your mortgage payment or your rent payment. I want you to stop talking, and I want you to close your eyes and think about where you were at 8 years old. Who was that person? Where did you go to school? Did you like your teacher? Do you have a best friend? Did you tell secrets? Hot lunch or cold lunch? Did you have a lunchbox? And if you did, what was the character on the front? Inhabit that memory for a moment, if you would. Did you feel safe? Did you feel seen? Did you feel like there were people around you that cared about you and asked really small questions at the time, but that you grew through those questions and they grew alongside you? 8 was a hard year for me. I'm a former club kid. I was in Sassoon City, and my family got orders. As many of you know, military brat, moved a lot when I was growing up. And in this case, it was hard because we were moving from Sassoon, California to Colorado Springs. And for some reason, I did not want to do it. I had a really hard time with it. And when we got to Colorado, that manifested in a lot of anger and a lot of fighting. I was sent home a lot, and I struggled quite a bit. That's what I love about the Boys and Girls Club, because when I came into the Pikes Peak Boys and Girls Club in Colorado Springs, a staff called me out and said, "Greg, that's a really cool lunchbox. What is that?" It's Voltron, by the way. I know what Voltron is. I get it, you probably don't, I'm sorry. But it was Voltron, I was super into it. I had no idea that staff was gonna be the most important person in my life over the next 6 months. I learned about the value of relationships because he asked me about things that I cared about. And it wasn't like I was talking to a teacher or parent or a mentor, I was talking to a peer. He told me about things he was interested in. And through that, I learned the power of relationships. Do you guys ever does this ever happen to you? When you're frustrated, like I was when I moved, when you have emotional baggage and you don't know where to put it, it's like the world tells you every single way or every single thing that you should do differently. I was too much. I was too loud. I was too crazy. I had too much going on. I was too distracted. This staff taught me how to take what had been framed as an obstacle and harness it as a superpower. That's the magic of the club. What started as Voltron became, "Greg, we're gonna do dodgeball together. You and me, we got this." And we killed it. It was great. It was an awesome day. In that moment, I wasn't too crazy. I wasn't too hyper. I was an athlete. I don't look like it today, but I used to be. A week later, he put me in the art room and he said, "Greg, go sculpt a Native American totem pole." And a half hour later, I came out with a snake. It was very different from a totem pole. And I learned about myself in that moment that I wasn't distracted. I was creative. Challenges to superpowers. That's the magic of the club. It's why alumni like Jennifer Lopez become J-Lo. It's why we have people who graduate out of our programs who are driven to succeed and impact their communities for the better of all, like Doretti Rojas, I see you. Like Joel Navarro, I see you. It's why this club has grown from serving 2,000 kids and teens in a year to an agency that serves over 5,000. That kind of change doesn't happen because of money or because of people who just want to play or do arts and crafts. That change happens because there's something magic going on in the room. I found my home. I found my family. I found people who saw me. It's not quite school. It's not quite home. And yet it occupies so much more than that negative space would allow. So I know that I'm running out of time. We're running quite long, so I'm jumping around a little bit. But I'm gonna turn this back to one thought. I'd like you to think about that 8-year-old again, the one with the lunchbox, you. The experiences that we've heard today from Abel, from me at the club, from Jaime, from Josh, from these wonderful Youth of the Year candidates. How would that experience have benefited you as an 8-year-old? Is that the relationship? Is that the experience that you could see yourself building a life around? And if the answer to that question is yes, then I want you to consider giving the gift of that experience to another child here in Napa Valley. The club is not just the magic that happens in the room, it is the magic that persists in our community. As Abel said, this is us wrapping our arms collectively around these kids and showing them not just that they are worthy of our attention, but they have the potential to change the world. Jam Cellars and the Truchard family gave us this space tonight. They made sure that it was free for us, but they also said, here's a check for $10,000. Because they care about these kids and they care about making sure that that aspect moves on to the next generation. And so $2,000 pays for one kid to go through a whole club experience for the academic year. What I'm gonna ask right now, and we're gonna do this at several different levels, we're gonna make this really easy on you. If you're willing to commit to a $2,000 gift right now to change a kid's life for a year, that's a year of high fives, a year of snacks, a year of art, would you stand? Thank you, Shauna. Thank you, Rhonda. Todd, I see you. Is that Natalie? Thank you so much. Oh, I got another one. Oscar, I see you in the back. Thank you. $200 will pay for a whole month. If you want to supply kids, and I'm not asking you to write a check right now, this is a pledge for your support. If you want to supply a kid with a month's worth of art programs and free snacks and high fives, who would be willing to grant that? Is there anyone willing to commit that to a kid? Blake, I see you. Thank you, Blake. Do I have another? Oh, I have another back here. Thank you so much. Guys, if you could help me out and stand. If you've committed at any level so far, please stand up. One more time. I want to see this whole room go up. One more level. If you wanted to do for a week, it would be $50. $50 to get dodgeball and hugs and happiness in the soul for these kids. Would any of you in this room be willing to do that? Please stand. Anyone? Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is where it gets super easy. $10 is a day. It's a day where we take these struggles and challenges and reaffirm them as superpowers. If you were willing to do $10 right now to give a day of club to a kid, would you be willing to stand? Please. Who would be willing to give $10 for a kid? Bust out your piggy banks, kids. Thank you. I think it's magical that we come in to do this event. I think it's magical that we create these opportunities for these kids. But the only reason we get to do that is because you guys help this magic persist. You guys are the linchpin in what makes this level possible. Thank you so much for continuing to support us and make the beauty of the club what it is. But most importantly, thank you for your bravery and your eloquence and your just incredible, definable awesomeness to come up on stage and tell your story. That is not an easy thing to do, and you guys do it so well. Thank you very much.
Next up, we want to do the same and recognize all 7 finalists. I'm going to call you up one at a time, okay? I'm going to have you come up and receive your plaque. First up, Mikayla Grogan. Over here, Mikayla. Right here. William Perez. Melody Kondor. Liazah Coronado. Audrey Aliga. Mundo Gonzalez. And finally, Madilynn Davis. So we're so proud, obviously, for these wonderful young people. Each of these finalists will receive a $1,000 scholarship after they graduate high school. And now I'm going to hand it off to Greg to announce the winner.
Can I get you guys to help me? Abel and Duretti? Please join me up on the stage, Abel and Duretti. Okay. Jaime, I don't know what I'm looking at here.
There you go. Sorry.
Oh, okay, it's here. It's an envelope that says Youth of the Year. Come on, Greg, get this together. Okay. Well, should we arm wrestle for it, or what do you want to do?
No, just go for it.
Just go for it? Just open it. Duretti? Okay, we have Duretti's approval to just open it. Are you okay? Look, before I open this, guys, I have to say it every year. We compete together. You are all amazing. You all are Youth of the Year. And if it weren't for the fact that Boys and Girls Clubs of America tells me that I have to choose just one, do you like how I didn't have to choose just one? Put a board member between you and a problem, people. That's what you do. All right. Our Youth of the Year for 2024 is Liazah Coronado. And Liza's going to say a few words. Liazah?
I wanted to say thank you to my mentors, the club, my parents, and everyone who has supported me throughout the years. And I wanted to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to be Youth of the Year. And that's all. Thank you very much.
Liazah!